Welcome to VeVe Radio, where the fandom grows. With D1 and only Raven and the biggest bro. We dive into comics from pages to screens, collectibles and culture like you've never seen. Get ready, kick back, enjoy the space. VeVe Radios live for everyone in this place.
Welcome to VeVe Radio. It is your boy, the biggest bro. Oh, brought to you, powered by, fueled by VeVe Comics today. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a wonderful show we have to you. First, we're going to start off with this. This is not financial advice. We are regular people with regular opinions, and guess what? Opinions can change. And now, all the way from the big island of Hawaii, it is D1 and Ole.
Pew, 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 pew. Hey, what is up, everybody? This is D1 and only. Can't do it just as good as Big Bro, but I'm trying. I'm getting there. Thank you all for tuning in and joining us on this lovely Tuesday morning or night, depending where you are. Yeah, it's great to be here, and I'm gonna pass it over to Raven, hailing from the great land in the north.
Hey, thank you, Dee. Yes, guys, I'm Raven. Thank you for joining us. I'm also very excited to start our third episode, and we are now officially sponsored by VeVe Comics. So thank you to VeVe Comics. So I'm feeling pretty good. How are you guys feeling?
Feeling great. Feeling
Amazing.
beautiful. Woo!
I'm ready. Before we kick it off, just want to also give a shout out to everyone that's listening in right now. I'm just gonna go down the list. We've got Hubs, Stormy, Slider, Fry Labbits, VedeoShane, Nodes, Swampy. We got Notorious, Mission, Mahalo, King Nino, Ooh, Comic Guy. We got Key Comics, AO Evolved. We got VeVe Comics, My Collectibles, The Real Uncommon Podcast. Awesome people. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. I'm excited.
I'm doing very well. Very excited. Lots of cool, exciting news going down in the community. Let's dive into it. Let's go.
Let's go. And before we do, please like, and also if you could repost the space so we can get more eyeballs. And we also have a giveaway. Sponsored by VeVe Comics. So we're gonna put your name on the wheel, right, Big Bro? So that's all you gotta do is...
That's right. All you have to do is exist in the chat. And then in order to win, you have your PFP has to be inside the chat. I'm going to tell you to put out an emote. You do the emote. We'll get your name. We'll send the MC. You'll get your collectible or comic. Let's go.
Yeah, so a lot of things have been happening comic-wise or maybe movie-wise as well, but we can get into that. Yeah, a lot of comics coming up. We did get a recommendation last week from Key Comics. Did you guys delve into that?
Yes. Key Comics told us about the Ultimate Spider-Man series. Man, this take on Peter Parker is very different. He got kids. So imagine just being a superhero and then you still got kids to deal with and stuff like that. And It's just the storyline's a little bit different. It's not Uncle Ben that's gone, May Parker's gone. I don't want to spoil too much, but just a different take on what it would take to be a superhero in today's day and age with real problems. You still got, your kid needs homework help and you need to go stop the Green Goblin at the same day. Like, you know what I mean? So I thought that was a really cool dichotomy. I can't wait to dive into it. I know, Raven, you got into it even more. I only read number 1. You got up to 3, right?
Yeah, I finished 3, so I'm excited to get that 4th one read. Yeah, I don't read very many comics, so it was nice to have that recommendation and then kind of dive in. And I really enjoyed the storyline and just the idea that he's older, and even though he hasn't been a superhero, but he has this inkling that something, like he's searching for something in his life, but he can't quite figure it out. And then he kind of figures that out and goes about his journey, and it's a pretty cool story. So yeah, I'm excited to read some more about it.
Yeah, just the way like he has to do it in later in life,
Yes.
instead of like being like in high school with the power, like you've lived your entire life and then like, whoa, something was taken away from me, and then I have to become this thing. So yeah, really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool that we can nowadays relate to that, because it's like same thing that a lot of us are going through as being like parents and stuff. So I thought that was really cool, because even like I guess like even in the other storyline when they were in high school, that kind of resonated with us when we were younger and going to high school, and then now like continuing on while we're older in life. So that was really cool to like have a like a be familiar with what's actually happening, because we're living it too in our lives, just not the whole superhero thing.
Yes. So yeah, let's get into what the new comics are going to come this week. We have a new list of Marvel comics that are going to drop tonight, and then we have some Dynamite comics that are going to drop tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah, so for the Marvel comics, so those are dropping at midnight. We have, and I pinned it up to the nest. We have Star Wars Legacy of Vader #1, Ultimates #9, Wolverine #6, Avengers #23, The Spectacular Spider-Man #12, Phoenix #8, Power Man Timeless #1, Scarlet Witch #9, Spirits of Vengeance #6, and Namor #7.
Yep. And then Dynamite comics that are dropping tomorrow at 10 a.m. We have Savage Tales Winter 2025 Special #1, Green Hornet Miss Fury #2, Miss Fury #3, The Boys #3, Kevin Smith's Green Hornet #5, Elvira Mistress of the Dark #2, Space Ghost #3. I remember that show. Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Reanimator #2, Johnny Quest #2, and Lord of the Jungle #1. Like we need more Tarzans. Let's go.
I know someone that collects Tarzans. I don't think she's here though.
There's something for everybody.
There's something for everybody. I love Tarzan. I like the gold covers. It's cool, man. It's lit.
Oh yeah, that's the rare ones. Yeah, they're gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are just sick. I think there's some actually a few people in the community that collect those, and that would be so sick to see like the whole wall of it all gold.
Especially now that we know we're getting into the universe, like there's a limitless of possibilities, especially with some of these covers that like join together. Maybe we'll talk about that in a later show, but there's a lot of comic covers. If you put them side by side, they create one really cool picture. And so it's going to be interesting to see what people do with their imaginations.
Ooh, yeah, that's for sure. Um, was there any like books that caught you guys' eye or interested in like continuing on with the read that's gonna
Uh,
be soon?
yeah, I was looking at, we're getting another Star Wars comic here. So it's Star Wars Legacy of Vader #1. It's Darth Vader's shadow extends into the rise of the First Order. The reign of Supreme Leader Kylo Ren begins. Kylo's dark obsession leads him to Mustafar. What secrets does Fortress Vader hold for the young tyrant? And what face from the past will guide him on his quest? So I thought that was kind of interesting. You've got some characters, some cameos by Han Solo, Leia, Luke, Rey. So who's going to be the one to guide him? You'll have to read it to find out.
That's fire. I love everybody loves Vader, right? So just getting more on his history and stuff like that is exciting.
Yeah, and some nice covers too.
Man,
The red saber.
yeah,
That's good.
it calls to me.
Yeah.
The one that I was looking at was Power Man, Timeless #1. So not too many people know, but Power Man is actually Luke Cage. That's his original name, is Power Man. And this one just basically it's like a timeless thing. So he's going like around the Marvel universe, like through the whole solar system, is like older Luke Cage. So I can't wait to kind of dive into this comic. The variant covers on here looks really cool. I can see one that it shows like the old school Power Man from the first comic sitting down while the new Power Man's like looking above him. Like it's really, really cool. So I hope we get some of these variant covers and I try to get some in the market.
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love the cover on that Star Wars one too that Raven was talking about. And yeah, the Power Man, that's an interesting story too. I might get that in the aftermarket as well. The book that I was gonna cover is the Spectacular Spider-Man number 12. So it's a continuation of the other 11 books that has the two Spider-Mans, and they're battling Electro. And Electro, if you guys know in the movies too, is played by what's his face? Can't think of his name, but he
Jamie Foxx?
yes, him. I was like, not Matt Damon, Jamie Foxx. Yeah, so he is kind of like the villain in the storyline, and there's another lady that Francine, that she also gets his power, and eventually they fight side by side and go after the two Spider-Mans. So that I haven't kept up much with the other books that dropped, but I just kind of did like a quick synopsis on that. And I was reading a lot into Electro and Francine and how they got their powers. And yeah, it's really cool. It's kind of pretty much how it depicts it in the movie, the Spider-Man movie. So I thought that was really cool to like.
With the electric eels?
What's that?
Like he drops into like electric eels?
Well, um, not similar to the eels, but he got electrocuted. Like he was like a power line man, power line guy, and he got electrocuted and got his powers. Um, but I thought that was really cool to kind of like watch the movie, and then also like when you're gonna be reading the story to like imagine also the movie, in the scenes kind of thing, to like go side by side. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I have to dive more into like the other books from before to see who the other villains are that they're up against. But yeah, so that's the one I'm gonna start picking up all the other books so I can keep up with the story and find out what else they're gonna be fighting against these two guys. But yeah. The other one too that I think I might also start picking up is the from Dynamite. Are is The Boys. I know they're on book number 3, but I think that would be a really cool book to get into as well, especially
Yeah.
since the show, right?
Yep, that's on my list too. I want to get into reading that. I think I grabbed the first couple
Oh, nice.
that they released, so that's on my read list.
So we also have an exciting drop happening tomorrow that people might not really know about. It's going to be Star Wars Qui-Gon Jinn #1. There's only 2,000 editions available, and it's going to be $6.99 in the market. So, and this has 5 different editions. The common is going to have 800, uncommon 520, rares 400, ultra rare 200, and secret rare 80. And you know, a lot of our characters sometimes don't look like the actors in the movie, but that is definitely Liam Neeson, like
Mm-hmm.
100%. Like that's him. So we got Liam Neeson on the app, y'all. Under 2,000 editions. Sleep on it if you want to. Cool. So yeah, just hmm?
Don't sleep on it. He will find you.
Yeah. Yeah, and then on Thursday we have Hulk number 22, and that's the Red Hulk's secret identity is finally revealed as Thunderbolt Ross. So you know, World War Hulk begins. The fall is over. Red Hulk and Banner have failed, and their worst nightmare have come to kill them. Will they die fighting MODOK and his army of Hulks, or die by the hands of Hulk heroes? Especially with Captain America: Brave New World coming out. A lot of the Red Hulk theme is happening, so that is really, really cool. That movie looks really exciting also. So this one is going to have 3,000 editions. Noticeably, these edition sizes are getting smaller. We have the common at 1,200, uncommon at 780, rare at 600, ultra rare at 300, and secret rare at 120 editions. The secret rare actually looks really cool. I like when they do the secret rare with actual like art and stuff like that, not just the blank white one. So this one is a really cool cover with it looks like Red Hulk, which I never heard of before, and so interesting.
Yeah, all those covers are nice. Just
Yep.
they pop, like they're nice and sharp. That common is really nice.
I was just looking at the secret rare. Like, look at her abs. Do you
I
see
used to no, I never had abs like that. That's a lie.
That's my goal to have abs like that.
To be She-Hulk.
Yeah, that would be so cool. I mean, I don't know how long that's gonna take, but goals.
Bad goals, red goals. Let's go. So, guys, there is something crazy that's happening. We finally got what the red chilies was all about. Comic burns are here. How do you guys feel about them?
Awesome. I love it. And I like that we have, what was it? So the comics that are in the store right now will all be burned on February 28th.
Correct.
And then from now on, any unsold ones after they release will be live for 30 days and then they will be burned. So I like having that set in stone that, you know, you have 30 days to purchase. But yeah, now I'm going to be searching the markets and going back to what comics we have left on the app.
Yeah, it's going to be a
how do you feel
nice
about it?
little.
What's
What?
that?
I was just saying, how are you guys feeling about it?
I like it's going to be like a little mad dash where people are going to have to speculate which books they're going to have to go for. And then it's really going to come down to like, what do you really collect? Like, do you want to collect because the comic looks cool? How are you going to be able to display it? There's so many different factors that are all happening at the same time. Like right now, we're having updates, you know, like that are happening as we speak. You know, like they said, the app is ever going to be growing, and now we're starting to reap the benefits of the waiting and them changing and stuff like that. So it's in a really exciting time. It's really cool that they're implementing stuff like this. I think it only makes everything more valuable, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, more valuable and more scarce. So yeah, I mean, I wonder if are they actually gonna have like a list of is that what they said? Are they gonna have a list of the comics that they're gonna be burning ahead of time?
I'm not sure if there's a full list. I think it's just all the Marvel, Disney, and Star Wars comics, all that are still in the store. So they have had some burns before, where they burned some of the comics, I believe, or was it just collectibles? That was comics, right?
I know it was.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
it?
they burned comics before.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah,
So
yeah,
this,
right. In the past, they would just release a list of what's
right.
being burned. But yeah, now it's everything, I believe.
So I think a lot of the good plays would probably be the Disney ones. If I was going to guess without like watching at all, probably not as many has been bought. And if those things get really scarce, people love Disney, man. So if Disney people ever come into the app, these are things are going to be sought after. So yeah, interesting play. It just depends on what happens in the future, what this turns into.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I've been looking at is the Disney. I was looking at that yesterday. I was kind of hoping they'd leave them alone for a little while, so it gives me more time. But I guess I do have like 20 something days to take a look and grab what I want.
yeah, because it's already kind of scarce as it is, because there's not too many like Disney comic books out there too. A lot of Marvel and Star Wars for sure, but not too many Disneys to begin with.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what people's plays are going to be. We might have a new segment next week, helping out. Just stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that, eh?
Hey.
Hey.
So, also in kind of comic news, right? Fantastic Four teaser trailer dropped this morning. So that looked like a good teaser. If you haven't seen the teaser, slight spoilers, but it's a teaser, so I mean, it's a teasy. But we won't go too in depth. But there were a couple of surprises and stuff. How do you guys feel about the trailer itself?
I mean, Pedro. That's all I have to say. Pedro's
Yes,
in it, so I'm happy.
It's
my wife is also afflicted by the Pedro disease. Since Game of Thrones and the Viper, she has been afflicted by this Pedroness.
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty good. Like I like that it was. You said it was in the '60s. That kind of
Yeah.
vibe. Those vehicles look really cool. I mean, that would be pretty neat to see on VeVe and in the VeVe verse. If
Oh,
they brought
oh,
those cars to the app, I mean,
we're getting that car. I'm
I hope
sorry.
so. I
I'm
hope so.
sorry. We're getting that blue car. That blue car's coming. That's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's not. It is what it is. It's coming. It's coming, guys. I'm just saying.
yeah, I enjoyed the trailer. I just only saw it this morning after you guys had talked about it. And yeah, for sure, because Pedro is there, so it's already a great movie to start off with. Um, but yeah, I thought I really liked how they have it, um, like in the old kind of looking like TV ish way, like the old vintage look. I liked how they did it in that sort of way.
How did you guys feel about the thing? How do you guys feel about how he looked?
It looked like, I don't know if his head was like smaller than usual, or is that just me?
No, it was smaller than usual, but I think I'm okay with it. Like I didn't look at it like, oh, I hate that. Like I think it looks like the thing.
Yeah, we'll have to. I mean, they'll probably, as the when the movie comes out and we watch it, and we're like, "Oh, okay, then get to like love the actor. But yeah, just that was like, whoa, his head is small, but that's okay. It'll be a good movie.
Yeah, man. So also we get a shot of possibly our big bad in this movie. We get a shot of
I
Galactus.
saw that.
So just to let you guys know, Vivi, like whatever Marvel tells them what to do, like when they do it, like it's always for a reason. Like we got Galactus on the app, now we're getting Galactus in the trailer. Um, how this is going to fit into the MCU is going to be very, very interesting. And I do have some maybe some explainers that might help you out. If you go on VeVe right now, you can look at Fantastic Four issues number 1. You can get issue number 13 and issue number 48, 49, and 50. Number 1, Fantastic Four number 1 is going to help you explain the Fantastic Four, how they get their powers, what's going on with them, how they became the Fantastic Four. Number 13. Now, this is my sneaky suspicion. It has something to do with the Red Ghost. I'm gonna leave it at that. For those who know, you know. And then number 48 through 50 of the Fantastic Four series is going to really take on what Galactus is, from the Herald, from Silver Surfer coming and warning people to his actual arrival. So these comics are all in the app, all able to read in AR in the VeVe comics. So you know what? I think we should always, check out the VeVe comics. And you know what? Like the comic guy down there says, read your books.
Yes, read your books. Shout out to you, comic guy.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Of course, my speaker's down. Hold on. God, I love live radio. It's
You
so
got this.
awesome.
You got this.
There you go. Oh, here we go. There we go. All right, take two. And now, a word from our sponsor. Some men fight through every battle, but even the Wolverine knows sometimes the toughest chest hair needs a shave.
Barbasol, thick and rich shaving cream. No need for claws, just smooth, irritation-free shaving.
Don't just fight bad guys. Fight bad chest hair with Barbasol.
Download the VeVe app today and shave your chest hair the Wolverine way. Wolverine and Barbasol can sold separately. Come on, we got it. Let's go!
Nice.
Get your Barbasol today, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, that's hilarious. I don't care who you are. That there's funny. All right. All right, so we're going to talk about our collectibles. But guess what, guys? There was no collectibles this week. What's up
No
with that?
collectibles? Oh my gosh.
There's no collectibles. No announcements. We're in limbo. So let the speculation begin.
It might be big. You might be saving it up, making it juicy.
Yeah. So no recent announcements. The last collectible drop we have was the stamps, right? The stamps.
Yeah.
So but there was a drop from VeVe, but you had to buy it with crypto. Raven, what is this?
Say what now?
It was the Fish. Yeah, Brock had you had to go through his Fish website and you could purchase using USD, and you would buy the collectibles on his site, and then as soon as you bought it, you would get a code that you could reveal and then take that right over to the VeVe app and punch that in, and then you had the collectibles in the app. So it's a pretty cool process, easy. They look amazing.
Wow.
And did you guys go for it as well?
So a newbie like me can just go on Coinbase, go and purchase USDC on the base network, and then buy directly from there?
You could.
Wow, that seems like such a simple process. Introducing me into crypto.
Easy as 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Wow. Bet you didn't know we did 2 commercials, huh? No, but it was a really cool drop. If you win for 10, you get the water slide airdrop coming soon. But what an amazing person that he keeps creating these different ways of showing what you can do with his app. You know what I mean? I'm really excited for things that Brock is coming up with, and I'm really happy that VeVe has given him the reins to do this. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's been so cool. And then this honestly for me makes me super bullish because of the possibilities that can happen from here.
Exactly. Yeah, he's just trying new things, seeing how they work, and I think everything's been pretty amazing so far. Now I'm always looking forward to seeing what he comes up with, because it's always pretty fun.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree with you guys. I really like the fact that someone is coming and giving us utility within the VeVe app itself, and to do this, the drop he did recently to get people introduced into crypto, so to speak. I think and to make it like super easy. I think that's a great start to get more people involved in that type of way.
Yeah, like bridging both worlds together in a simple way. And yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah, it's a really simple bridge. It's really really cool, and just like I said, it leads to so many different things that a lot of amazing creators we have in the community can kind of breach into that, and then we get some crazy things. Like I can only imagine what like a Kid Arcade can do in something in that capacity of just like bringing some fun and then with collectibles attached to it. So very exciting for the future. Make sure you support things like this if you can. $5 is it's a really affordable price for a blind box that you're getting. So shout out to Brock. Really well done, and I believe it's going to be burned pretty soon too. So
Yeah. Just you
yeah,
saying that, like mentioning Kid Arcade and the possibilities just makes me smile. Like I am so excited and ready for anything like that.
just all we have so many crazy creative people in this community that yeah, I just it makes me really excited. And then especially like I said, the possibilities are opening up. It's great.
I agree, and can't wait to see what or who else VeVe can bring on, especially if it's like people that we know from the community arcade. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Push it, baby. All right. So I have secretly been typing away in the background every time you guys come into the space for our giveaway. So make sure you do absolutely nothing. All you have to do is exist, be here, and when I say your name, put out the emoji that I say you need to do, and then voila, you are in the game.
Thank you, Big Bro, for doing that. I know you're just working silently in the background.
It's all good. You guys should have seen how many tabs I had at the beginning of this thing. It's crazy, but I'm down. I'm down a lot. They're all gone. It's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, so make sure you need to be present. Your PFP needs to be here when Big Bro says who the winner is. And good luck to you all.
All right. I think it is time, my friends. We are going to spin that wheel. I wish there was a way I could record this, but I'm on Spaces on the phone, so I haven't realized. Maybe no, it's too
You're
much.
just gonna have to trust Big Bro.
Yeah, trust me, bro. Okay.
Trust me, bro.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you guys trusted with way more responsibility. You can trust me. What else? What a spinning wheel. Okay. Let me just put hold on. How many people got in here? I can. Yeah, let me run down right quick. I'm gonna say all the names right quick. Okay. Mission Slayer, Key Comics, Mahalo, Fry Lab, Stormy, Nodes, Shane, Comic Guy, Hubs, Notorious, Swampy, Evolved, Nino, Dudes, Shankster, Richard, Loco, O'Milly, Presley, Kid Arcade, Alejandro, Chris Severs, Doko, Unibonger. Hopefully you're all here. The Prowler, you just hopped in. How dare you? But you're here. I got you. The Prowler is here. And then we're gonna spin that wheel. Oh wait, no, Die Jedi's in here too. Oh god, almost with it, but I didn't. Let's go. Here we go. We're gonna spin that wheel. Let's see who is going to get it. It's gonna be Dudes. Dudes with the win.
Congrats to me.
Congratulations to you, dudes. We will be getting your VeVe name and getting that to MC and getting your collectible. Now, guys, they do send the collectibles out according to a batch. So just be patient. You will get your collectibles. And if like a couple weeks go by, you didn't get your collectible, holler at us. We will make sure you get it done. It will get done. Let's go. Congratulations to you, dudes. Thank you for being here.
Congrats, Doobie.
Yep, congrats.
All right. Well, I have sent out the signal.
All right.
Out that signal.
Now, as we bring up our next comic guru that's going to help us, I just want to tell you guys a little bit about our segment. What we're doing right now is called the Comic Guru Council. This is going to be our CGC. These are people that love comics. want to help us share their love for comics, explain to us why they got into comics, what comics have done for them, and maybe some comics that we should check out themselves. And today we have the wonderful, powerful VedeoShane.
All right. Well,
VedeoShane, he's the man, spreading knowledge and wisdom wherever he can. From the screen to the page, he's the guide in the land of fandoms. He's our guide. So if you're lost in fandom lore, Shane's your guide forevermore. With wisdom, humor, and a fan's heart, VedeoShane, you're the man.
Your guy, my guy, the man with a voice smooth as butter, VedeoShane.
Thank you very much, Biggest Bro. I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for having me on. This is a really cool show. I'm glad you guys are doing this.
Thank you for being here. What a great intro song, too.
It really
Right.
was. Thank you for doing that.
yeah, thank you for your time and coming on the show, Shane. Thanks for listening in the background and also coming back each week to support us. And yeah, just be here in the space and hopefully, you can share some of your knowledge and story with us today.
Absolutely. My pleasure. What do you want to talk about?
You doing okay today?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you good.
Yeah. Good.
So just quickly, if you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and your collecting journey, whatever you can share, and how you got into comics. Have you always been to comics when you were little? Give us a little on yourself.
Sure, absolutely. So I've been a physical comic book collector since I was a kid. I mean, some of my earliest memories, I must have been 5 or 6 reading comic books in my bedroom. So I've had comics in my life, ever since I was little. And then as in grade school, I think that's when I met a group of friends, and we're still friends today, that we all realized we all like comic books. And I remember, doing sleepovers, and we bring our boxes of comics and trade comics and, go to comic book stores. And, that was a huge part of my childhood. I sort of stopped collecting physical books for a long period of time. And when I discovered VeVe and, the comic books on there, it really rekindled my interest in collecting again. And, for me, one of the bigger aspects of the collecting experience was always like going into the comic book shop and they know your name when you walk in, and they usually have you set up a box in the comic book shop. They'll call it their pull box, and so every month you go in and pick up your books. And so there's that, not only my friends, but just that kind of social aspect of it. And for me, when I started going to some of the in-person events, that also restarted that for me as well. This being a part of a community and chatting with people online, and then when you get a chance to meet them in person, it just really made me fall in love with collecting again. And for me, I think I've always been kind of an early adopter just in everything. And so the idea of buying things digitally really came pretty natural for me. And just I see all the benefits of it. Not having to, if you decide you want to sell things, not having to pack it up into a box and, drive out to the FedEx store or whatever and take a chance of somebody taking advantage of you. You just sell it online, and it's just super easy. And your collection is with you all the time. There's a lot of just really great benefits to it. So yeah, I'm very excited about the gamification aspect of digital collecting too. I'm really interested that now VeVe is going to be doing these burns for some of these books that have been sitting on the market for a while. For me, I think that's one of the more exciting things about digital collecting is that you can do things that are just not possible within the physical world, and burning some things. And the event that we just had recently with the Mighties was a really interesting experiment to see what you could do with some of the items that are on the platform that might have 20 or 30,000 items. And now all of a sudden you can decide if you want to kind of upgrade those, and what does that look like. So all of that's just really exciting to me. Like I said, things that you just can't do within the physical world. It's not like you can bring your Star Wars toys over to Target and say, hey, can I trade these in for newer different toys? It's just not something that's possible. So yeah, I'm just excited about the future and where I see things going. We always talk about that in this digital collecting community, that we're all still early. I mean, what is it? VeVe's only been around for 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. And so the idea of digital collecting is still a relatively new thing. And, the general public hasn't really picked up on it yet, but I think they will. It's just going to take time, to kind of wrap their head around it. It's kind of interesting to me when you talk to people about digital collecting, and their kind of knee jerk reaction is, "Well, I can't hold it in my hand. Why would I buy something I can't hold?" And I have to pause and kind of remind them that, have you ever bought an app for your phone? Well, you don't hold that in your hand. Have you ever bought a piece of music off of iTunes? Well, you don't hold that CD in your hand. What about a video game on your PlayStation? You used to buy that as a physical item. Now it's just digital. So making the transition to digital collectibles isn't as big a leap, I think, that people put up that barrier about. So just kind of explaining it to people, and yeah, it's just going
Getting
to
the
take a little
good
time to
word
do it.
out there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things for me is just the convenience of not having a whole bunch of comics, because I like when I get comics now, they're in the box, and now I have more boxes, and then my wife's staring at me. But in the VeVe app, she can't look at my app and see how much stuff I have,
That's
because
right.
if she saw how many kings I had, she'd just be like, "What are you doing? What is going on here?" But thankfully, the digital world has saved me from ridicule.
Exactly. You can collect in the way that you want to collect.
Right. So Shane, you say you've been collecting comics since you were a young kid. So I thought this would be a very interesting question for you.
Yeah.
What are some of the storylines and comics that you were into as a kid, and are they the same as now? Some of these characters, as the years go by, these characters change, their stories change, their origins change, and stuff like that. There's different variants. So, like, how has that impacted your collecting, like coming back into collecting, like, oh, do I still like this guy? And or maybe now that I did somebody you didn't like and now you like them, like, now, like, what about that?
Yeah, that's a good question. So for me, I was coming up right around the time when it was the new X-Men were coming out. And so, the John Byrne, Chris Claremont, uh, time period. And so those stories really resonated with me. And, that was also around the time when, well, a little bit after that was when, like, Secret Wars, the first one, came out. And so I was always interested in those. But during that early 80s period, I also really liked the independent books. There was that was the time when Turtles came out, and there was a big flood of independent comics that came out at that time. Grendel, um, uh, Gru. I'm trying to think. I'm drawing a blank now. But anyway, so a lot of those kind of black and white indies were out at that time period, and I kind of gravitated towards those just because I had been reading Marvel stuff and DC stuff all that time. And then when the black and white stuff, it just felt really fresh, and like there was no restrictions on it, and the artists could be themselves and do what they wanted. So it's fun to see some of this kind of almost indie comic stuff come onto the VeVe platform as well. We've got some publishers that are part of the large three essentially, and so it's fun to see that. I I like to experiment and see what else is happening in this industry. You and I have talked privately about the different projects that I'm in, and I'm excited about the space in general. And so one of the other projects that I think is really interesting, there's a company called Distillery. They spell it without any vowels, so it's TLRY. And they're interesting in that they're not actual NFTs because they're artists and writers where they have reservations about NFTs, unfortunately. And so they came up with a solution where they created their own server to host all their content on. But in a way, it also gives them freedom to kind of move a little faster, and they can experiment and do some different things. And so one of the cool things at last year's San Diego Comic-Con that they released was that you could go up to the booth where the artists were, and they had an iPad there, and you scanned a QR code to represent your book that's in your collection, and they would be able to do a signature and even a remark on your book live right there in person. And to me, I would love to see VeVe implement something like that, because that makes it more personal. It makes the part of the one of the things I find missing with digital collecting is there definitely is like a little bit of a loss in like that moment in time. I think there's a difference between buying something on the app and hitting the buy now button, as opposed to being in person at a store, picking it up and buying it. Not necessarily the idea of the physical, just that interaction with it. And if you could add that signature element or a remark to it, I really think that brings it to the next level, and it makes it more personal, and it makes it something that you want to hold on to and keep. So we'll see what happens. That's the exciting thing about this space. It's constantly evolving and changing. So yeah, so Distillery, and they're kind of an independent company. They just came out 2 years ago. So to answer your question, the things that I'm interested in are really about more independent artists. I don't know if you know or not, I think I talked to you about this, but for 2 years I ran a YouTube channel called Comic Book Squares, and the whole point of it was to try and bring awareness to independent comic book artists who, they're trying their best to get out there and get noticed, and it's hard for them to get any traction because most people pay attention to Marvel or DC or Image. And so I thought, well, this would be a great way to kind of give back to the comic book community that's given so much to me growing up. And we did interviews with artists and just helped them to promote their books. The problem is that, you have your full-time job, as you're doing this show right now, that it's hard to make time to do all that. And I'm kind of a perfectionist, and so I spent a lot of time on post-production to like add like a lot of graphics and make it look like they were comic book panels. And that took a lot of additional work in post to make it look nice. And I brought up imagery of the panels themselves as they were talking about them. So anyway, after 2 years of it, it just became too much for me to handle. But yeah, so that really ties back into me trying to give back to the smaller independent artists. My family and I go to Comic Cons every year, and one of my most treasured things is I have a sketchbook that I started when the kids were 3 years old, and we would, as a family, go down to, if you ever been to a Comic Con before, they have something in the back called Artist Row, and it's where all of the kind of indie people are trying to get a foothold and have somebody pay attention to their art. And usually they've got a little comic book they're trying to promote. And I just go back there. I want to try and give them some of my money to help them in any way I can. And so usually they'll do sketches. And most people you'll see go back there and they'll have them do, the stereotypical Wolverine and Spider-Man and all that kind of stuff. But what I decided to do was, as a family, we decided what artist we liked that year. And we would say, hey, can you do a drawing of our family? So my sketchbook is just filled with drawings of our family as we through the years as we go to Comic Cons. So it's just all about trying to give back and help out independent artists.
That is such a cool idea, dude. Like, just to have that, and then you guys all agree on an artist to do that, and just your mission on trying to get awareness for these independent comic artists out there, and I like that VeVe's also opened the gateway for these guys to actually put some stuff out there. Hopefully, with their new program that they're rolling out this year, so it should be very exciting for the independent artist scene. Um, so then, MegaCon's coming very soon, in a couple of
Yep.
days. San Diego
Yep.
Comic-Con coming up in July. Any plans on going?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I didn't mention at the top. So I'm one of the moderators on McFarlane's Discord channel, and I've been doing that for a couple of years now. And my feeling, I, like I said, I'm in a bunch of different projects. I follow Cryptoys, and Will, the CEO from Cryptoys. Anytime I hear him speak, I just love his attitude about the space in general, in that he constantly talks about, rising tide lifts all ships, and I feel like there's enough room for all of us to grow together. And so I hope that VeVe can support McFarlane, and we support them, and we want everybody to succeed, because then we all win together. So with that said, I go to San Diego every year. McFarlane throws a party before San Diego Comic Con begins, and it's a very nice event. It's catered, and they display all the new artwork, all the new toys that are be coming out in the following year, and they invite a lot of what I guess they call influencers that have toy channels, and they take photos and post them on their channels and stuff. But it's a great time to meet Todd in person. He's there and signs things for people and takes pictures, and you get access to him unlike you would on the show floor at San Diego. And so yeah, I go there and help them set that up. And last year I took some live video from the event, so I'll do that again this year. And then I'm going to go again to Decon, which was just an absolutely amazing event, and I had one of the best times ever. So hopefully we'll all get together again at Decon, and that space just really speaks to me. Part of the whole independent artist thing, because that's really what Decon's all about, is independent artists.
Yeah, that's one thing that I actually learned from Hinano was like when we went to Decon in 2022 and this past year 2024, instead of going to like all the booths that were like in the middle or like front line, we went around like in the corners in the back where they have like all the independent artists kind of like just stashed away. And it was so amazing how like all of the people back there just had really like beautiful artwork, and all the comics that they're working on as well, and they're like just tucked away in the corner. So now every time we're gonna go in the future events, that's like our goal, is to always hit up those people in the corner first before even if we even make it out to like the big people. We just kind of like how you do, support the the little guys, and eventually the more people they have supporting them, they'll eventually get really big and get their names out there as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everybody has to start. I mean, at some point, everybody that's a huge major star had to start in a little space, even if you're Eminem. At one point, he's probably handing out CDs on a corner, just trying to get somebody to listen to his music. So everybody needs to get started, and they all need a little help. So yeah, anything I can do. In my opinion about the world, if I feel like the more art there is in the world, the better place it is. So I'm a huge supporter of art. That's another project that I'm part of, is Elmon X. I love their idea of bringing classic art into the world digitally, as well as introducing me to new artists who I'm not wouldn't have been familiar with. So I really support their vision for where they see things. They've got a real niche that they're kind of sticking within, which I think is exciting.
I had a question about, so I've never been to a Comic-Con or anything like that. So is there any plan of attack or recommendation when visiting a con?
Yeah, it's a
With it, so you don't get overwhelmed, you know?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. And Comic Cons can be just visually overstimulating for a lot of people, and even for me, like, it's just got to kind of pause for a minute, especially some of the bigger conventions like San Diego or New York, because there's so many people and people are rushing, and you know, everybody collects differently. There are people that collect and for the love of the item, and they want to rip open the package and see the toy and pose it, and actually see the item. And there's other people that purchase and keep things in a box, and there's other people that are more flippers that we have on different apps that they want to buy things and then flip them to make a profit. And it's true in the physical world as it is in the digital world. And so when you go to these Comic Cons, a lot of times people are running to try and get these kind of exclusive items that are at the conventions. So that can be a little overwhelming for sure. And you know at San Diego last year, I know that it was just like wall to wall people just pressed up against each other to the point where it was uncomfortable. Luckily for me, I was only interested. I kind of fully transitioned over into digital collecting. I think it's been 4 years now, and so for me, I was only interested in like 4 booths at San Diego Comic Con. So it was a, a a more pleasant experience for me that I didn't have to fight through the crowds and wait in all these lines for different experiences, because I just wanted to hang out at either the VeVe booth or the candy booth or McFarlane or a distillery, and that was where my new people are. So, but to answer your question, you know, when a lot of friends ask what Comic Con is if they've never been to one, it says it right in the title, Comic Con, but that's such a small portion of it. Really, there's probably 15% of the convention is actually comic books. The rest of it is either toys or um, people who are independent artists, or there's people that do crafts stuff like 3D printer people. There's a lot of cosplay. There's tons and tons of panels to go to. If you're anything that you're interested in pop culture wise, it's going to be represented at a Comic Con. So just go in there and just be more concerned about the things that you're interested in, and don't feel like overwhelmed that you have to see everything. If you're not into medieval knights, there's a group of people in the back probably doing reenactments of, in full body armor of medieval knights. If that's not your thing, then there you go. You don't even have to go back there and check that out. Although it is kind of cool to go, just walk past it and see it.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta learn to do that. It's like go in with a game plan, because yeah, I hear it does get overwhelming and you're just kind of packed in like a bunch of sardines in a can.
Mm-hmm.
And then also we had got a recommendation from Big Bro too that please wear deodorant.
Please,
Yeah.
please,
Please.
please. Okay, guys. Like, look, man. Like, I get it. You know what I mean? We're excited. You want to be the first in line and everything. But just a little secret. You know what I mean? Little right guard, little Old Spice, little something.
Little something.
Because sometimes you feel the force in
Yes.
the face, and it's like, ooh, the force is strong with you.
Yes.
You under there in that Boba Fett outfit. Oh.
I 100% agree with biggest bro Raven. Just be prepared. You may catch a whiff of some body odor. It's just part of the experience. Just chalk that up as, oh, that's off my checklist. We've covered that. Let's move on to the comic book row.
So Shane, it seems that as a family guy that you are sharing this do you share this with your family? Like do you share like your love of comics or like reading the comics at all?
I it's a good question. I tried to get them interested. Luckily my daughter does enjoy it, so she reads some books. My son not so much, but he I'm not going to force anything on anybody. You have to collect and enjoy art and collecting in the way that makes you the happiest. That's why I always say, when physical collectors of toys, they can get agitated at just the idea of digital collecting. And I always, take it easy. Nobody's taking away your physical toys. You just collect in the way that makes you the happiest. And for my son, he actually really fell in love with the artwork. His favorite artist is Alex Ross. So like he goes over to that booth and just drools over that artwork and looks at the price tags and, says, all right, I'm gonna save up my money. I'm gonna get one of these pieces because it's beautiful. And I love that. That's he found his thing. It doesn't have to be my thing, it's his thing. And my wife, she loves going to more of the kind of booths where people kind of do their own kind of craft stuff. She loves looking at the 3D printed stuff. Any people that are doing like hand printed bags or like custom made dresses and that kind of stuff. That's all available at the Comic-Con. She's a huge Star Wars fan, and so if there's a dress that's kind of a custom made piece that speaks to Star Wars, she's all over it. So she's got her thing. I've got my digital thing. So it's all good. We can all enjoy ourselves individually and still hang out together. So it's
That's that's so awesome that you all share like a different aspect of the comic slash collecting world. Like you have yours, your son has, the art that he loves, your wife is into apparel, and it's like all under one, but just different branches kind of thing. So that's really cool.
yeah. Plus,
And do you guys,
oh,
I was just going to ask, do you guys sit around and read comics together a lot?
no, we don't do that, but we do enjoy the films. So we're a big film family. So we definitely go to all the Marvel films, and yeah, we spend a lot of time doing that or watching films together. We're actually 2 episodes away from finishing Penguin. Yeah. So, and we're really looking forward to
Do
Daredevil
that.
coming back out. So
Dude, Shane, go watch that show.
I know, right?
Finish
Yeah.
that show.
It's so hard, man. You and I talked about this in Vegas. There's so much great content out there now. It's just so hard to find, try and keep up with all of it. Every time you turn around, another person recommends another show that you have to go check this show out. It's amazing, and I'm sure it is. I'll add it to the list of 300 other shows that I need to catch up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it took me a while to get up on Penguin, but like I said,
I
I've only
feel
got
you,
2
Shane.
episodes ago.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, burn everything else. Watch that show.
I will tell you this about the Penguin, and anybody that's listening that hasn't watched it, I will echo Biggest Bro's statement that it is phenomenal. And Colin Farrell deserves every accolade that he's getting at the award shows.
All the
because
rewards, all of them.
I'm sitting here watching the show and I know it's Colin Farrell, and I'm staring at the screen and I can't see Colin Farrell, not even just through the makeup, but through his performance. He disappears
Right.
into that character, and it's amazing. It is amazing. He is fantastic. I can't wait for I think they announced season 2, didn't they?
Yeah, it's going
Yeah.
to be after the Batman movie, so we have a
Okay.
little bit of ways, but it's going to
Yeah.
be okay. So I wanted to ask you, so last week we had Key Comics. Shout out to him. He collected comics because of the stories, right? And so there's lots of reasons why people will collect their comics. And so, what is the reason, or what is the why, and why is your collection the way it is? For you, VedeoShane, do you collect because of the artist? Do you collect because of the superhero? Do you collect because of the story?
Yeah. Well, I can just speak to who I am as a person and what drives me. Obviously, I love the artwork style. I love the style of comic book art. But in my heart, I'm a completionist, and so it gives me a certain sense of satisfaction to know when I kind of complete a series. And so I knew that about myself very early on, and so I found myself collecting series of books that I knew that I could complete. So I have like the full run of like Alpha Flight and the full run of, Power Pack and the full run of the Invaders, and books that were accessible. And I would read Spider-Man and Captain America, and I enjoyed those stories, but those weren't ones that I collected, because I knew in my mind I'm never going to get Spider-Man #1 or Amazing Fantasy 15, although now on VeVe I can. But yeah, I find that about myself, and I'm that way in the digital space as well. I was trying to collect all of the Marvel Mighties for a long period of time, and a lot of them were at a price point that was sort of out of my reach. And then it was a little disappointing to me when they came out with the 88 mint size on which is the one that's 88? Is it Spider-Man
Spider-Man
Noir?
Noir, yeah.
Yeah. And all of a sudden it's, $5,000 and $6,000, and it's completely out of my range now. And so that was very defeating for me, as like, because I know who I am as a person and know that I'm never going to be able to, well, never say never, but the chances are slim that I would complete my Marvel Mighty set now. So I kind of focus on, I definitely buy a lot of single item sets in VeVe, because that provides myself with satisfaction that I have completed. It's like a task almost, like here's this thing that I want and I know that it's achievable and I've completed it. I can check it off a checklist. But with that said, there's definitely the artwork and story aspect of it too. Like, when I was growing up, was the time when The Dark Knight came out, and that was a 4-issue limited series. And so, that those stories, and I'm trying to think, like, even when one of my favorite artists was John Byrne as a kid, and anytime he would do a run on a series, I would always pick up that run of books. And he did a series called Next Men, which was in kind of more indie style book. And so I have the entire run of those as well. So yeah, it's definitely certain artists that I would follow, but more so just this idea, the way that I collect is I'm a completionist. And I took that into toys as well, because I collect toys as well as movies, because I'm big into film. And so with toys, that whole aspect of driving around town to try and complete your set, and find that chase figure that's hard to find. There's a certain fun aspect of that hunt. But as I'm getting older, that driving around town has lost its luster a little bit. So I enjoy that aspect of VeVe, that I could do it from my couch now to go around and hunt for things to complete sets.
Yeah, dude, it's funny because that's how I am in video games,
Okay.
right? Like with I have to have all the trophies. Like I have to get the platinum. Like, and
Right.
then what happens is if you don't get the trophies fast enough, they'll unleash DLC, and then you have to get more trophies in order to get the platinum. And it's like, ugh, I don't want to buy this new DLC. I gotta hurry up and get the platinum trophy. So that's how I'm a completionist too. So like I like where it's like all my platinum trophies, and they're like, yeah, that's right. I'm a badass. you know? You know what I mean? So like I definitely get that collecting style. Like, and that's the beauty of collecting, right? Like everybody has their reasons, everybody has like their things that they collect. And that's what makes the space awesome. Hopefully for like in somebody like me, like people are talking about the price points and stuff. Like this is my time. I love this time. I'm picking up so much stuff that I've always wanted. I just have to be patient.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll fall into your lap, and then if it takes off, it takes off. But just collect what you love, and you won't be mad.
Right. Yeah, that's always been the case for me too, from the financial side of it. Even when I was a kid, I'd have books, and I knew that I loved those books. And I would go out and buy like the comic book price guide, and there's an enjoyment to looking through that and saying, oh, this book that I have is worth $50 or whatever it was. Not that I was going to run out and sell it or flip it. There's just like almost like a pat on the head, like you did a good job. You made a wise financial decision with your $2. And so I find that enjoyable, but it can also be a little there's that reward and then sadness when you buy something and then you look in the market and it's worth a quarter of what you just paid for it. So there's
Yeah.
there's kind of the ups and downs of collecting as well.
Yeah, and that that's the case with a lot of things you collect. You buy the hot new Pokemon card now, and
Yep.
a week or two is either hot or it's not. So
Hmm.
that's the game, guys. That's the game. But we've been having a really good chat, and VedeoShane, we definitely appreciate you coming. In closing, is there a comic that you read on the app that really like spoke to you that maybe Raven and I could go take a look at and maybe dive into that storyline, or maybe there's some art, or maybe that's something that really draws to you. And also it's because you have a lot of knowledge about the independent artists. What artist or comic would you recommend VeVe to go after in this space?
Okay. Well, I will say, as far as a comic book artist, somebody who's new and up and coming, my feeling is, there's not one in particular that I can speak to, but I would say bring the world to those back row people at the artist row, and let them know that one of the biggest hurdles for a comic book publisher, independent, is going out and spending all that money on the printing, and explain to them the benefits of you can do this digitally and not have that huge outlay of cash. You've already spent all this money to get the artwork done, and whether whatever role you play in it, whether you're the writer or the artist or both, or you've got to hire somebody to do the lettering and the inking and coloring and all that stuff. You've spent some money. You could save that printing costs and go digitally, and try and explain the benefits to those independent people, and let them know that we're still growing, and you get introduced to thousands of fans who are looking for your stuff. So there's a ton of really talented people in those back rows, and I know that that's what the team does. I'm sure David walks around back there and looks at new artists and just help them out, because at the end of the day, you never know who's going to be the next Sweet Tooth, or the next Walking Dead, or the next thing that blows up online. And if it first appearance was on VeVe, then not only did it help that artist, but it helps digital collecting. I'm a big supporter of the idea of everybody wins. I don't like deals where it's lopsided, where one side gets a whole bunch and the other side kind of loses out. So if it's a win-win-win for everybody, that's the best. As far as things that I've read, coming back to the kind of indie thing, I was really happy with The Addiction. I don't know if you had a chance to read that on the app, but I got a chance to meet that artist in San Diego at their booth, and they're all in on. They see the benefits of digital, and so I'm just supporting them, and keeping up with whenever they release new stuff. I think they've only got 3 issues now on the app.
Before we head out, I just want to bring up one thing.
Mhm.
Get to the comics. When you
Yes.
read that comic with your family,
Oh, thank you.
was a blast. Like, I know Dee and I were in the chat, like we were thinking we were interacting with you guys, and then we realized it wasn't live, but we still had the best time.
Yeah, you totally got duped on that, Shane. Thanks.
Yeah.
It was just so hard to find time with their everybody's schedule, so
Right.
we had to do it, and plus he's overseas, so to try and find that time that worked for all of us, it just made sense to pre-record it. So I apologize. I didn't mean to dupe anybody, but we had
It was so good.
we had a great time
It was
doing
so
it.
good.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
No,
I
it was
appreciate
fun.
it.
Yeah, it was a great read, and yeah, it was nice to hear the different voices that your son and your wife did. Yeah, you amazing on that.
Thank you. Yeah, we had a great time.
Make sure everybody, please go follow VedeoShane on all socials. He's out here. He's, like I said, he's a moderator for the McFarland Discord. I believe they have the trivia night. Is that going to be tomorrow night, correct?
No, actually, our next one is going to be next Wednesday, the 12th.
Next Wednesday. Okay. Really fun space. The trivia nights are always awesome. VedeoShane, thank you for coming. Thank you for being one of our gurus. Is there a book that you have that Raven D and I can maybe read and come back and do a book report for you, sir?
Yeah, I would say, the one I mentioned, The Addiction.
I read that one. I'm ahead of the game.
Yeah, there you go. See, Raven's
I need to read it. I need to read the book.
Thank you, Shane.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, before we close up, was there any other things that you want to leave us with, Shane? Any words of advice or any last thoughts?
The only thing I would say is, this space, what I've found over the past 3 or 4 years is that sometimes it can get territorial. People find their specific group that they are attached to, and it's sad for me when I hear almost gleefulness of the deterioration of another group, like when you read about people being gleeful about what happened with HRO. I feel like we could be better as a community than that. We should all be supporting each other, and those people that were in HRO, they had a great time while it was around. And there's nothing, and I don't think there's anything terribly wrong with companies that don't succeed. There are tons of things that I collected when I was a kid. Like, I had these little toys that were little cars called micro machines, and they were super fun, and micro machines don't exist anymore. So doesn't take away from the fact that I enjoyed them for a period of time. And same thing for the people that enjoyed HRO. So I just think, as the digital collecting community is still so small, we should all support one another and help lift each other up. So that's what I would say.
Absolutely. Love collecting. There shouldn't be any room to hate. Why hate? Just have fun. Have fun with the things you love. I collected on the Matrix NFTs. I liked them. They're gone.
Mm-hmm.
I collected Starbucks NFTs. I thought they were gonna be big. They're gone. But it's okay. Like, I loved it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sad, yeah, but you're right. Even though if your team is winning, it's all good. But don't gloat.
Mm-hmm.
Be there. Be the champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're the champion. Act like the champion. Champion helps everybody else. Like, look, here's some shine. There you go, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Pick yourself up. Let's go. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So beautiful. I love that video, Shane. I love that, man. Thank you again for coming. Number 2 on our CGC is only going to get better and bigger and better, guys. Let's go.
Let's go.
Been...
Thank you again for having me on. I really, really appreciate it. You guys are doing great work.
Oh, thank you, Shane. Thank you for your support as well. Yeah, and thank you for your time to come up and speak with us and the audience and talk about your love for collecting all sorts of things, not just comics. Yeah, it's been great. I feel like I learn, because I've talked to you quite a bit before, and I feel like I always learn something new from you every time we talk. So
thank you.
So, guys, episode 2 is coming to a close, but we do have big future plans for the show. We want to have more interviews. We want to have more people on the CGC. So we need your help at this time. If you have anybody that you think will be good, please put it in the comments down below. We'll check them out. We'll try to get them on. We're looking for people that have a passion for comics, that love the lore, and just something that we can learn from them. You think we can learn from them? We want to talk to them. All right. Feedback and critique is always welcome. Mario, we miss you. We just want to make sure that you're okay. You didn't like the beginning, but maybe you listened and you like us now. Just let us know. We always aim to please. Okay, Mario. You're still my biggest fan. I know it, baby. I know it.
I think he is, because when we don't see a comment from him, I think he enjoyed himself.
That's see, and that's all I need. All I need. You know, that's the affirmation I need. Thank you, Mario. Thank you for providing that for me. Now, to close out the show, I put on a song last week that really spoke to me, that makes me happy. And this week, we have Raven with her song. Would you like to explain the song that you picked this week?
Sure. I picked this song. It's on my playlist. It's a song that lives in my head basically when I check the crypto markets or check the VeVe app. And my song this week is I Want to Be Rich by Callaway.
That is an excellent song. Thank you guys for the wonderful show. Thank you everybody for coming out, supporting us. Thank you for VeVe Comics for sponsoring our channel and taking the risk on us. We are going to make this a great show. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, my co-hosts D and Raven, for being amazing, coming up with these ideas. You guys, these girls are geniuses. I win.
We win.
We win together.
Let's go.
Well, thank you, everyone. You've been listening to VeVe Radio.
Collect big.
Dream bigger.
See
you next
time. We're gonna get that. We're gonna get that one day. One day is gonna be.
One day.
It's gonna be so harmonious and everything. It's gonna be great.
Oh, Supergirl, you're my dream come true. With your cape and your curls, I'm falling for you.